I thought it would be a great opportunity to talk to someone with differing beliefs. I could finally like try to understand how someone who thinks differently than me can come to those different conclusions. Like for those three questions you asked regarding letting in too many immigrants, COVID restrictions, and parents getting consent from or teachers getting consent from parents, I would say yes to all three of those questions. And I'd really want to know why someone would say no to any of those questions.
Right. So to be clear, you'd say that Canada is letting in too many immigrants. The government has gone too far with COVID restrictions, and teachers should tell parents about changes in their kids' pronouns. You say,
absolutely.
Okay, you think all those things. Do you find, from your perspective, sharing those opinions with other people? Like, have you found outlets to share those opinions elsewhere in the world? Or that's often something that you find you have to kind of keep to yourself with the way just things are.
Well, most people don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. They find it to be kind of like almost taboo. There's a lot of stigma around, especially talking about COVID and being against the government's actions during COVID. You're viewed as as an anti-vaxxer or a conspiracy theorist when you might just be talking about something the government actually did, like freezing people's bank accounts or like putting large fines on people during COVID. And that's something I had to deal with when I worked in the food industry. You would be threatened with $5,000 fines for not wearing a face shield, and I think that's overreach, plain and simple. I don't think I should be getting a large fine for not wearing a plastic face shield that doesn't actually protect me from COVID.
Why do you want to talk with people who disagree with you?
I want to understand why they disagree. I want to understand how they come to the conclusions they came to, especially on the issues that were, especially regarding the questions you asked me. I think they're really important. I think they're very relevant today, especially. In the last 10 years, I've seen so much change in my life, especially regarding immigration. I've seen so many more immigrants in my community, and I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it seems weird to me that so much change can happen and you can't really talk about it. And I think that's why this Manitoba Talks is so good, because it gives people an opportunity to really talk about these things that they might not talk about with their family. Because I never really talk about this stuff with my family, even when it's being talked about on the news. Most people don't generally talk about politics. They tend to just ignore it or dismiss it as something that doesn't affect them when it affects them every day in a lot of ways.
Do you talk about this in person, or is it mostly online?
Well, I'll talk about it online a lot, and then I'll talk about it in a party chat or a Discord call with friends, and very rarely I'll talk about it in person with people. So it's mainly going on in through texting on the phone, in comment sections. That's really the number one place you're going to talk to other people about politics, because it's so easy. It's so easy to just hide behind a phone and say what you want.
Are you open to changing your mind? Let's say you're put across from, let's say,
absolutely,
an immigrant or a trans person,
yeah,
or someone else, and they offer their perspective. Yeah, how is this? Why you also signed up as well?
Yeah, if they're honest and if they're here in good faith, I have no problem talking to them. I mean, I'm more than open to having my mind changed. The problem is who's going to change your mind? Who's going to talk to a guy like me? Most people don't want to talk about this kind of stuff, and people with a more liberal perspective, they kind of get turned off at the thought of my type of opinion.
Just in terms of, as you look forward, the whole idea is, to make a space for these kind of conversations on our end. But what would you like to see? This is a very big-headed question, but I mean, what would you like to see change in Manitoba to make it so that whether your opinions or someone with the exact opposite opinions feel like they can get together and share them in a safe, open place, and hopefully find some sort of place where they can at least exist alongside each other.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Yeah. So I guess, like I was saying before, honesty and acceptance too. You need to be willing to hear what other people have to say. Like me, for example, I think we need to be honest with each other. We need to listen to people and actually accept their opinion, not as something to be dismissed, but something to think about. I think everyone has a different experience in life, and they form opinions based on those experiences. And if to just dismiss someone because they have a different opinion of them is to just it's almost like just you're disregarding their entire life experience. We're not going to get anywhere if we just like speak past each other on social media. That's why I think this is really good, because it brings people together in person and they can actually talk without running away from each other, without turning off the phone or just leaving a mean comment and just dismissing everything.
Is it hard to find friends that disagree with you?
No, actually I have a few. I think it's hard to find friends that agree with you on everything, definitely. I don't know how you could make a friend and they wouldn't disagree with you on something. Like even like
So you have friends who like disagree with you on like, let's say these three core issues that we've been talking about. Are they on opposite sides as you, but you still
Yeah.
kind of hang out? Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I have friends that think COVID restrictions weren't that bad, but like I said before, with experience, I mean, I got the blunt end of COVID restrictions, and you know they were fine. Like I have one friend who he just received benefits and stayed home while I was working all of COVID, and I lost my job because of COVID too, because of the restrictions on restaurants and stuff, and I had to go get a new job. So that definitely affected how I view the government, how I view the lockdown restrictions. I won't be dishonest about that, but I still think it's overreach. And like, regardless of, even though he has a different opinion, I think, he's not going to kill me over it or anything. It's not going to ruin our friendship. So it's all right. And there's other things too, like with the Renee Good shooting that happened a few months ago. I had friends who, like, we argue for like, I had one friend, we argued for over an hour about it. I kind of like came more to the middle on it when I was initially thinking like, okay, well, who cares? Like, I mean, she killed herself. Why does this matter to me? But after talking with someone who disagreed and was on the opposite end of that spectrum, I came to a more reasonable conclusion. You know, she shouldn't have died, even though she shouldn't have been there. It's everyone there should have been held accountable. I'm meaning the ICE officers, obviously, but I think that's a good example of how someone like me can be maybe not de-radicalized, but I can have my opinion changed through talking. Because if I had never talked about that, I probably would have kept that same extreme opinion up until now, and I might not have ever have thought about it. But I think because I was able to talk with someone with a differing opinion, I was able to come to a better, I think a smarter conclusion on the situation. I instead of just being completely dismissive, I was able to empathize with the lady, Renee Good, that was shot.
So what, at the end of the day, after all said and done, once you sat down with people through MB Talks, what are you hoping to get out of it?
I'm hoping I can get a broader perspective. I'm hoping that I can be a better person, really, like, as silly as that might sound. But I think being able to understand people and talk with them does make you a better person. If you're just going to dismiss people, like, well, there's a lot of names for people like that, but I don't want to swear on the radio. I don't think you should just dismiss people. I think you should try to talk with them, be as reasonable with them as you can. And I think Manitoba Talks is perfect for that. There's just not a lot of discourse going on ever about politics in Canada. And I think young people should be at the forefront of politics, but they really aren't. We don't talk about it in school, and the teachers especially don't really care to talk about it. So I think this is great for young people. I think this will give a good opportunity for people like me to get out and express themselves to people that they disagree with, and to actually maybe meet someone who can change their opinion. Because you can't really have your opinion changed by a comment on social media. It just doesn't resonate with you the way someone speaking to you does.
Well, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much, Caleb, for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.